This episode is sponsored by Skirmish, Airsoft Connected. Go to skirmish.net to check out more. This episode is also sponsored by Jackal Tactical. Go to jacktac.com to find out more. Y'all go check it out. Now let's get into the podcast. Welcome, dude.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I just started listening to your show, and I was like, it's kind of cool. So, and I don't know. Here I am.
Yeah, so the last probably month or whatever, I've been talking, like I'll mention on here while I'm talking with somebody, I'll mention like have a sign up form on my website or whatever. And so I think over the last month, I've had probably 4 or 5 people, you included, that signed up on there. People that I never had seen their pages or profiles or that kind of thing. And I really actually like that because I like the mystery and the intrigue of who am I meeting, So yeah, man, it's cool. I appreciate you
Cool,
signing up.
cool. Yeah, thanks, man. Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you introduce yourself and real quick, and then we'll get into the good stuff.
Cool. Yeah, I guess my name's Alex. Been in the airsoft for probably 13 or 14 years, and I just I've been playing, doing the thing. Started off as a paintball player, and you know how all the paintball players go, like, oh, airsoft's
Shout
stupid.
out paintball.
Paintball's dumb, or no, airsoft's dumb. And then
Right.
before you know it, I can get into it later how I got into it, but yeah, before you know it, you start playing airsoft, and you're like, man, why did I play paintball?
It is messy. It is messy.
So,
Yeah, for sure.
but
Yeah,
um,
I started out that way as well. Yeah.
I think a lot of us old schoolers. I mean, I'm
Uh,
42, and I
okay.
think a lot of us started out that way and then slowly grew into airsoft.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think there's kind of a slow shift going on with between paintball and airsoft. Paintball is in the general public, I think is a little more. It's still popular, more popular than airsoft. But as far as if you just walk down the street or go to a shopping mall and ask people as they're walking by, have you ever heard of paintball? Oh yeah, yeah. And then ask 1,000 people, have you ever heard of airsoft? They're like, it's going to be more people have
BB,
heard of
yeah,
paintball.
yeah.
Yeah.
They just think of BB guns.
Yeah, right. Yeah, true. So it's but I think it's one of these somebody said on here one time it's the biggest sport that no one's ever heard of. And it seems that way because some of these events have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, sometimes thousands, the events that Balahack puts on, bro. That's crazy. Like 12, 1,500 people at a zombie event, you know?
That must be an East Coast event.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, it's hard for me to get out to the East Coast, being so deep in the Midwest.
Yeah, you're in Minnesota?
Minnesota. Yep.
Yeah, nice. Okay.
So
I'm not sure, but I think you're the first one that I've talked with or had on here from Minnesota.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, we're pretty fortunate in Minnesota. I mean, we have 3 fields within Minneapolis, so we have 3 fields that are pretty close by. You know, we also got another field in Wisconsin, like Wisconsin Dells is probably about 3 hours away, and that's probably the best field in the Midwest. It's called Action Sports Wisconsin. Um, yeah, that's probably one of the best fields, I think, in the Midwest.
Yeah.
So if that's anything you guys want to check out, I'd definitely check that out.
Action Sports Wisconsin. Yeah, I'll have to look this up. This is one of the things I love about meeting new people on here is finding out about other teams or other fields or other field owners, like all these different, things I've never heard, teams and fields I've never heard of before. Even when I do like a search, like on Instagram or Facebook, whatever, like just airsoft, right? I just type in airsoft and I go looking for different profiles or whatever. Um, I still, I find a lot of them that way, but when I have people on here, I'm still like surprised at how many more new ones I'm finding out
Yeah.
about, and I'm like, holy cow, dude, that's crazy. Okay.
I kind of do the same thing you do. Like I travel for work, so
Okay.
just like I don't know. I was in Indiana like 2 hours ago, so
Oh shit. Okay.
yeah, so I just flew in and did all the Zoom stuff to get it all working, and
Whoa, bro.
so,
Oh
but
my gosh.
usually when I go out to these different states and stuff, I try to hit the local airsoft stores and just to
Yeah.
check them out, or like I had the pleasure. I don't know if have you heard of Index Productions?
No.
Oh, so he does a lot of like tagging Nerf rockets or tagging rockets. He makes them, and he made me a law. So he takes like the M72 laws and he converts them
Oh
to
shit.
fire. Yeah, so yeah, that's Index Productions, and
I'm about to
you
look
know
that up.
I talked to that guy, and I was in North Carolina, and I went and met that guy, and man, that guy's cool. He's good stuff. So yeah, Index Productions.
Yeah,
So
I'm
yeah,
looking it up now.
and anyways, yeah, he built an M72 rocket for me.
Yeah.
He built another one for another buddy of mine here in Minnesota. So there's two of them floating here. I think he's got an AT4 too. Yeah, he's got an AT4. He let me shoot his AT4. So he takes like the shells because they're throwaways, and
Right.
then he finds them and he converts them.
Yeah.
So
That's wild, dude. Okay. That's
so
pretty cool.
yeah, so it's pretty good stuff. But yeah, like I said, I met him, and he's hooked me up. He gave me some prototype rounds that he's making, and
Yeah.
so yeah, good stuff, man. I really enjoyed meeting him and talking to him.
Shout out Index Productions. I haven't found their website yet. Uh, Index, because there's a couple of them that the first two are Index Video Productions, and it's definitely not. It's more like photography and
Index Production LLC, maybe.
yeah.
Try that one.
I'll have to scroll through this and see. Yeah.
Definitely, he's definitely got a Facebook page.
Oh, maybe I'll look on there. Yeah. That's cool. So,
So
how did you find um, our podcast, or how did you find our
and
channel?
actually on one of the Facebook, like on our Minnesota Airsoft Association, our Facebook page, I think we got like 3,000 members, 3 or 4,000 members on there. So
What?
we got a nice amount of people.
Yeah.
And somebody threw that on there, and I was like, oh, cool,
Nice.
especially when I travel, it's like, oh, cool, I'll
Yeah.
throw that on there while I'm sitting in the airport or wherever I am,
Right.
and that's what I did, and I started listening. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool,
Okay.
So I liked it. He had like a lot of interesting characters, and from all walks of airsoft.
Right.
So I enjoyed listening, just hearing. Everyone's got their story, and it's just, so yeah, I got a story too.
Right. Oh, dude, I'm so glad. That's what I want to do, man. It's yeah, for sure. Okay.
So that's pretty much how I wound up. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get on to maybe
Oh, dude.
talk
I'm
about
s-
Minnesota and everything.
right. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, I was recently going through some of the original podcasts or whatever. When I first started the podcast, I didn't actually plan on starting a podcast. And if you've heard some, you might have heard me say that on how it started. It was kind of spontaneous, but there was not a real definite, like in the beginning. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to do a podcast, right? It kind of grew into it. And so when I was looking back at the original, like the first 50, I was trying to match up the audio, so my audio listings to my YouTube video listings. Because when, like about 6, 8 months ago, whatever, within the last year, YouTube made a specific section for podcasts if you're a content creator, right? And so they never used to have that. So there wasn't like you had to create your own playlist and kind of make it separate if you wanted to do that or whatever. So they've got this whole separate thing, podcast thing. And if you go to someone's channel and they have a podcast, you click on it and it'll show like a big tile with how many episodes they have and whatever. And you can sort it from oldest to newest or vice versa, whatever. But so I was checking my channel, like, I haven't really looked at this in a while. I want to see how it's set up, And I'm looking and I'm going, wait a minute, that wasn't number one. that wasn't number two because I'm going by the audio where I posted on all
Yep.
the audio, the Spotify and all that. And then I remembered I was like, dude, I didn't decide right away. And the other thing too was there were some uh, audio podcasts that I put on the audio version that I did not put on YouTube because what I did was I just took the audio from a video I'd already released. So like we did a review, like a hangout and a review on I don't know, an AAPO1 or something like that. So that was a part of our channel. We were doing unboxing and reviews. Well, what I did was I took the audio from that and made it one of the podcasts on the audio side, but not on the YouTube side. So the numbers don't line up. Like if you go through the YouTube side, it's like, and then you go through to Spotify and look at them. And I was like, I'm the one that set this up and I was confused. Okay. I'm going, what the hell? And then
Well,
I was trying to remember back. Oh yeah, I didn't really decide this is going to be a podcast. So anyway, if you've gone back, if somebody's new to the channel and new to the podcast, if you go in the very beginning, there's gonna be some that are like they don't follow this format what we're doing now. That
yeah.
didn't come until a little bit later on.
We got
So
like 300 episodes or 300.
yeah,
It's like
dude,
where do you begin?
I can't, I cannot believe it. I feel like it hasn't been that long, but for a year and a half, I'm gonna tell you where it jumped was for a year and a half. Once I decided, okay, I'm gonna do this is gonna be a cool podcast, or whatever. Cool for me, for me to do. I'll have fun with it. I was doing 3 a week. I was releasing 3 a week. So that's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's 12 a month. And so our numbers went up so fast, as far as how many episodes we had. And before I knew it, I was coming up to episode 300. And I was like, dude, okay, what? No, and I was kind of going back through the beginning, like, are there really 300? Anyway, so it's, yeah, but it's been fun, man.
Well,
It's been fun.
like I said, you can't really go over the beginning. You just kind of just scroll down, like, oh, this looks interesting. Just kind of like
Yeah.
you just pick that one and go with it.
Well, there was a time too where I thought about kind of once I had decided making a podcast to kind of go back and kind of delete all these other ones, that weren't really like what we're doing now, and then just start fresh with whatever number one was, and so, but I said, nah, it's you. People can see the progression, right, of kind of how it changed over time, and it's cool. It's whatever. So.
Sweet.
But yeah, man, I appreciate you being on here. It's one of the guys I had on like a month ago, this teenager. He says, "I want to tell you how I find your podcast." I said, "Okay." He goes, "I was kind of bored one night, and I was looking for a podcast to listen to, and I was, I've been to the Airsoft for a couple of years. He plays Speedsoft like indoor, and he's like, I said, Alexa, play Airsoft podcast, and then." Mine was the first one that came up, and I was blown away. I was shocked because I didn't, I mean, I know I'm listed on a lot of different things, but I was like, that is a cool, I didn't even know that. I don't have one of those, echo things or whatever. So,
I can be honest, I did the same thing. So like,
oh, really?
Yeah, actually, when I'm like working in my office, like
Yeah.
this is actually my office, I would be like, play, like when I first heard about you,
Right,
I
right.
just said Airsoft podcast, and yours actually came up.
Oh, shit.
So
Shout
I
out
did,
Echo
I
or
did,
Alexa or whatever, man. That's
I did
hell
the same
yeah.
thing.
Free advertising, man. That's awesome. Okay. Well, I just found that we got, what the hell is this website called? I don't know. I'll have to look it up later. But I just got an email from a guy that runs this website that does like podcast indexing. So all the different genres and categories or whatever. And he reached out to me because he has a paid service through his website if you want to advertise and whatever through there. But I'm at, there's a bunch of Airsoft podcasts on there, RGK, Defro, Call Your Hits, a bunch of different Airsoft podcasts are on there. The guys in that I first started out listening to in Cali, oh my God, Gorilla Airsoft Radio, they're listed on there. And so I was on this site and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, man. That So yeah, I didn't do a whole lot with that. Like trying to get the trying to get it listed. Um, anyway, I just like I'm gonna do what I love to do, which is this: talk with people, and I'm see where it goes. So
Nice, nice. Well,
yeah,
it's going
man.
good.
Yeah, that's cool, dude. But so you're in Minnesota. Did you grow up there or
Yep, born and raised.
okay? Do you like the cold? You ever think about getting
Nah,
away from it?
yeah, all the time I think about it. But it's home, man. I can't,
I
I
know.
don't know. It's hard.
Yeah, it is. You got family around there?
Sort of. I got one brother.
Okay.
So I got one brother that lives in Minnesota. I got another brother that lives in Mexico, and then my mom lives in the Philippines.
Oh, okay. Do you ever visit those different countries?
Yes, I actually was in Mexico where my brother was for actually a month for work for my job. So that was actually pretty cool that I got to
Okay.
be down there for and see him.
Yeah, nice. I went to. I have a friend that's from Chihuahua, Mexico.
Uh-huh.
I think that's how you say it. And then me and my buddies had gone. The farthest we had gone into Mexico was Rosarita. So we went down to Rosarita, uh, just stayed a weekend down there, and it was like a 6 hour drive for us to from Camp Pendleton down through Tijuana and into Rosarita, and hung out down there for a while. So it was cool. We had a good time.
And it's always fun down there. It's nice. It's hot. Everything's a little cheaper.
Yes. Oh yeah. Dude,
Different.
this was 1992, so
Oh, way
shit was
different
cheap.
then.
It was cheap, okay? Yeah, man. We were still getting quarter beers in Tijuana back then.
Oh,
Yeah,
TJ.
right.
Was it a revolving door when you went there? Like,
I think so.
because I remember going down there probably like 6 or 7 years ago, and you got off the train right there in TJ,
Okay.
and it was literally like a big revolving door, just click clink. You're in Mexico.
Oh yeah. Well, we walked up. We parked. We didn't. So we would drive our car down there. My buddy had a pickup truck. We would drive the pickup down there and park in a lot
Yep,
like less than a
right
mile
there.
away, and we'd walk. We would walk over the walkover bridge, and or the walked right through. So I think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember the first time we went. I do remember this. The where there's chain link fence on this side as we're walking through into Mexico, into Tijuana, and there was one of the Mexican police vehicles. It looked like a decked out Suburban that was like, I mean, decked out in Fallout style. Okay, like they had welded like wheel covers on it, steel plates over the wheels, mesh over the windshield. I mean, it looked like a riot vehicle.
Yep.
And the two guys are standing there with the shotguns slung over their shoulder, and we were like, "Boys, don't get in trouble in Mexico. We
Yeah,
ain't
well,
coming back."
it was the same way in Guadalajara. Like they would have
Okay.
like a squad of cars, like three of them,
Yeah.
like 250 cals and a Mark 19 in the middle.
Whoa.
And I'm like, and that was that was the first time I'd ever seen a Mark 19. It was cruising around on the top of a
Holy shit.
top of a on the top of a truck, and I was like, oh my god, these guys are ready to take down a city block.
They're not messing around, bro. We ain't dealing with that bar fight. We just lay
Blow it
down a
up.
couple of thumpers, okay?
But that was pretty wild when I saw that stuff down there.
Yeah.
But
Now, what kind of work do you do that you travel so much?
I'm just a mechanic, traveling mechanic. So I
Okay.
work on a lot of pharmaceutical machines. So wherever there's
Okay.
pharmaceutical stuff, I'm going out there and
Yeah.
getting them
Like
up
in the
and running.
manufacturing
Yes.
part of it? Yeah.
Yes.
Production. Oh, yeah. That's what I used to do. Yep.
So getting the clean suit and
Okay.
and
I never had to do that. I wasn't, I didn't work on food grade stuff or whatever, but yeah.
but yeah, that's pretty much what I do daily, or
Yeah.
mostly.
So I started out, my first factory I started out in was back in '94. I started out packing parts. Never worked in a factory before. Okay, it was right after I got out of the military. And so I was packing parts for about 6 months. They put up a job bid. I bid on that. It was worked in quality. for about 6 months. They put up a job bid for a machine operator. I bid on that, did that for probably about 5 years, and then I bid on a process job, and then a setup job, like where I was pulling out molds and the dies or whatever.
Yeah, change outs.
Yep. So doing that, and then I worked, pretty much stayed in like the process side of it for quite a few years, and that's what I was doing. And then I would go, depending on which plant I was at, I would either do maintenance or process, because it kind of worked together,
Yeah.
as far as the setting up the recipes, it was all plastics. Most of it was plastic. My first one was aluminum die casting, but the other ones were mostly plastic stuff. And so yeah, we did. Now I did work for about 6 months at this one, Gojo,
Yes.
the hand
The
cleaner.
hand cleaner. Yep.
Yeah, I worked in that place. That was in Northeast Ohio. We mixed all the batches and that kind of thing. I was the staging, so just drove a forklift, set up all the staging on a pallet for them to dump in the big bins and mix everything.
One of the big vats.
Yeah, 33,000 gallons or whatever, and yeah, so interesting stuff. I always loved seeing how things work and how things are made. So I enjoyed it. I mean, I didn't plan on getting into factories after the military. It just kind of came up. My wife and I were already married for about 2 years after I got out. We had our first kid already. He was like 6 weeks old when we moved back from Cali to Northeast Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio. And my mom goes, "Hey, there's a job fair like in 2 days over here. There's all these factories going to be here." I was like, "All right, let me go check it out." So I went over there and filled out applications, for like 2 hours at all these, different tables. Somebody called me the next day. They said, "Hey, come in for a test." Like within a week after doing that, I was already starting to work there. So
That's pretty nice. Had a
yeah, I
job
was
lined
like,
up
okay,
already.
yeah, $8 an hour, man, packing parts. Yeah, it was fine. We made it work, but things were a lot cheaper back in '94. Okay.
I can imagine. I didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I would say you're probably 94. You're probably not
Like
really
10,
a
12.
thought yet. Oh, you're okay. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're 10 years younger than me.
Uh,
So yeah, makes sense.
but yeah,
Okay. So how'd you end up doing this kind of work?
I uh, I was doing flooring for about 10 years, and
Oof.
well, it was a good job. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. The people
Yeah.
were great, and like everybody, I always hear that everyone's like, "Oh, your knees, your back," and
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Knees and back.
you
Yep.
know, and yeah, that crossed my mind, and coincidentally, I was playing airsoft at the time, and like I had made all this, like I'd make stuff for my guns, like out of like machine lathes or or out of a Bridgeport. So all my parts were all like handmade and hand built, and people, I had a guy was like, "How do you do that stuff?" I was like, "I don't know, I just do it." Like and I didn't have the equipment at my house.
Yeah.
Like I was literally like filing stuff down and like drilling holes and hoping it was going to be straight and stuff.
What?
Yeah, and so I would get to a point where I was like, "All right, this works," and then I would make it work. And the guy noticed that, and he's like, "Man, you'd be really good at our company." And I was like, "Okay, tell me about it." And he told me about it, and it turns out it was an apprenticeship.
Uh-huh.
So he's like, in order for me to get in this company, I had to do this apprenticeship. So here I am, again, like I think I was like 28 years old, and it's like if you do this apprenticeship, you pretty much start over.
Yeah.
So and you're with a bunch of like young kids.
Exactly.
So I'm this 28 year. So I applied and I got it. So
Yeah.
here I am, this 28-year-old dude. It's pretty much starting over. So I was, I think, God, what? I think I was making like $30 an hour at the time doing flooring,
Okay.
and they dropped me down to $12 an hour.
Woo, buddy.
So like here I am talking to my wife. I'm like, "Hey, this is a, like let me try this opportunity." They pay for my school. Yeah, that was the whole kicker. They paid for your schooling.
Sure.
So you go there, they do your apprenticeship, they pay for your college. Like
Yep.
to go to like a tech school, they pay
Yep.
for that. They give you a job. They set you all up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, as soon as 3 years, and then I'll be back to where we am, and we're all good.
Yeah.
And she said, yeah, do it, and then at that time, what actually I think one of the saving points of us was that my wife actually like enlisted that day, like, like while I was in there. So she enlisted. And so like, like that money coming in from her enlistment or from her being going through basic training and the
Oh,
HSA and all
okay. Oh,
that
she went in
stuff.
the military. Okay.
Yeah, so so I was getting out, I was like, all right, this is all right. Like
Yeah.
we got a nice income flow coming
Yeah, it
in,
worked out good. Good timing.
and yeah, and it worked out, good. And I went through it. I finished up the apprenticeship program and that's how I pretty much got into manufacturing.
Yeah.
So where it was, so when I got done with my apprenticeship, which was 3 years long, they put me into um, a factory startups. So
Mm.
you would go to a factory and you would push the start button, and whatever went broken or didn't go the right direction or whatever,
Yep.
we would go in there and troubleshoot it and fix it
Yeah.
until it worked. And like that brought me all over the world. Like I'm really thankful
Oh,
for that job. Like I got to
yeah,
see
dude.
places that like a lot of people never got to see. I got to go to Saudi Arabia by myself.
That's crazy.
So they sent me to Saudi Arabia once, and here I am freaking out. This is when they were cutting people's heads off and stuff over there, and I'm
Oh
like,
my
oh my,
God.
you know.
Oh.
So they sent me out there. Well, the crazy part is, it's like I'm like completely lost. I had to send my passport to the embassy, and it's like this thick thing saying that I would oblige by all Saudi laws. I wouldn't bring a Bible in there, and and I
Oh
couldn't
my gosh.
like
Yeah,
should
I think
like
you can't have alcohol or something
nope,
too.
nope. Alcohol, like any kind of anything, like pornography, alcohol.
Yeah.
And I was there for my first time there. I was there for about a month, and I was like terrified to go there. I'm like, oh my god, like I had all these my coworkers like, oh, don't worry, like it's not like that. It's all propaganda. I'm like, okay, here we go. So
Oh
so I
shit.
I boarded the airplane and went there and got off, and here I am, like, okay, I'm trying to find my contact, and there's this guy with a cardboard box with my like company's name on it.
Oh
And I'm like,
shit.
oh my God. Yeah, that's me. He's like, okay, follow me. And I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, he's taking you to a dungeon, bro. Okay.
So, and, well, like after I got over that, I
Yeah.
was like, oh, this is actually pretty, this wasn't that bad.
Right.
Like I got to experience that. I went to like domestic China. So I flew into Shanghai. And then from Shanghai, I took a 3-hour flight into China. So like there was things on the back of the seat that said you were being watched. Like I didn't know like what the like I wanted to take a picture so bad because like nobody would believe me if I like let's check this out.
Oh my God, that's funny. I mean, nowadays we're used to it, right? Like everyone's being watched everywhere. We just there's not usually a sign somewhere.
It
I guess
says
there
it.
are other gas stations, right?
Oh, but it's China. Here I am, a foreigner in China. Like
Right. You're
so.
being watched, dude. You better watch it.
Again, like I said, like I got to see a lot of the world because of that job.
That's
And
cool,
then
man.
it's just I had friends move on to different careers, and they were trying to pretty much poach me in this direction and that direction, and
Oh yeah.
one of them poached me in the pharmaceuticals, and you know they gave me a number I couldn't say no to, and here I am.
Right. Yeah. That's usually how it works, man. That's yeah. I never
Yeah.
really cared. I was just, kind of the same, I guess, as far as my attitude towards it. I never really had this idea for a career path, right? I just like I don't really I never cared what my title was. I didn't care about the title. I cared more about the bottom line, what I was getting at the end because it was kind of necessity. My wife and I
Yeah.
we had the first one in 94, or our first son was born in 94, and then every 2 years was another one was born until we had five. So
Oh
diapers
man,
and baby food and all that, that shit adds up, so
it never stopped for you.
we never no, my wife was pregnant for like 7 years, bro. Okay, like it's crazy. But so I was always looking for okay, yeah, it was just like an easy. I was good with mechanical aptitude kind of thing,
Yep.
so I understood how machines work. I could learn really fast in that environment. So
I like to take pride in myself being able to fix anything.
yeah,
Like so, like as long as you got like support or some type of support or some type of manual,
yeah,
like I'll figure it out.
right. There was a couple times I was working on my Jeep and I couldn't. It just. I mean, if I would have kept at it, I could have figured it out. It's just. whenever I worked on a car, if I couldn't figure it out, bro, it was like a knock on my ego. I'm like, no, I'm gonna get this thing fixed. Eventually, okay, eventually.
Well, we're lucky we have YouTube.
Yeah. Oh
Like,
my gosh,
if we
dude.
didn't have, like, I don't know how people
For
did it
real.
20 years ago. Like,
Oh, you had to call a friend or a
you had
family
to call a
member.
friend, look in the Chiltons or whatever it was.
Yeah, looking Chiltons. I had a stack of Chiltons at home growing up. My dad, he had old manuals and stuff, like the original manuals for. He was a mechanic on the side. He worked in a factory, and then he was a mechanic. And so, and he actually had like a big shop in his garage. So he had like a lathe and a Bridgeport and a big press,
And all
drill
the stuff.
press, all the stuff. And then he had just toolbox full, the big stack toolbox full of all the automotive tools and stuff. So, and I grew up working on 67 Bonneville, 77 Monte Carlo, um, old station wagons, the old Pontiac station wagons or Chevy station wagons. It was yeah, the old style cars with the hood that was as long as your house, and
Yep.
open it up, and this giant engine in there that's like
You could stand in the engine bay. The
yes.
engine bay you could stand in.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Yep. Very simple. Uh,
Yes.
before all the electronic stuff. So, but yeah, I grew up doing that. So a lot of that stuff came natural to me. But yeah. So how did you grew up in Minnesota? Uh, your you start this kind of work after school and stuff. What brought you to airsoft?
Well, like I said, I played paintball for a while, and like
Yeah.
that was like my, yeah, let's play paintball, and like the woods ball, that's what it was called.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
so,
me too.
woods ball because it was cool. Like
Uh-huh.
nobody liked the speedball stuff. Like so,
No.
and anyways, I did that for a while, and then me and my brother were, like, we were pretty, like, I don't know, we were a pretty good match when we played paintball. We could flank guys really good, cover and flank and all that stuff. My brother was a my oldest brother was a corpsman, and when he got out, that's pretty much what him and I did.
Yeah.
And yeah, we did that for the longest time, and then we all got older, and you know, and anyways, he had a foster kid, and this foster kid was talking about airsoft, and again, I hear airsoft's so dumb, like you have to.
Yeah.
Why don't you play paintball? Like we'll fucking,
Yeah. Be a
we'll
real
rock,
man.
we'll rock you, dude. If you and your buddies, like I don't care how old we are, like we'll rock you.
Tell you right now. Yep.
And anyways, well, he did do that. He's like, fine. And it's like, go get an airsoft gun. I was like, what? I'm not gonna. Okay, so I go to. Well, thankfully, we had an airsoft store in Minnesota. We still do. So it's a pretty, it's God, yeah, it's been there for over 14 years, I guess, or 10. But I
That's good.
buy I buy this $100 gun. I think, oh, what was it? D Boy's gun, M16. That's what. Yeah,
Oh
I bought
wow.
that. So I bought that, and I was like, okay, and it's like high caps. I don't. That's stupid. I want something that's semi-real. And so I bought a bunch of mid cap magazines, and here I am. Me and my brother both bought $100 guns, and we didn't rock the shit out of them, but but like it was hard to like tell if we were hit because we weren't so we were used to this 68 caliber huge paintball thump. You're
That's
like,
heavy.
oh
Yeah.
yes, you're like,
And
oh Jesus,
splats everywhere.
yes, because you're like, oh God, yep, I'm it.
Oh, it freaking hurts, bro. Yeah.
And so like who knows? That was our first. We were running around in the backyard. We had this big woods, and we were running around back there. So who knows? Maybe I was cheating. Who knows? Like I probably got hit a million times and didn't realize it. Now that in
Yeah.
the as you get in the future, like you know that whatever that sound is, like, oh yeah, I got hit in the gear.
Hmm.
Like you know what you know when you got hit.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah. So anyways, I was like, man, that was kind of fun, man. And here I am researching like fields and stuff, and um coincidentally, there was a field that I found that the guy, he still has the field too. The guy was a World War II, like like a, what do you call those guys? The mills, like the reenactors.
Oh yeah. Right.
So
Right.
he was a World War II reenactor, and he
Hmm.
had built a little German village in his backyard.
Whoa.
He had like 50 acres, and so he started building like little houses and stuff. It's Big Lake Tactical is what it's called. So
Oh,
if you
that's
want to
cool.
write that down, look it up later. But
Yeah.
yeah, he built these German houses, and he built a whole German like a trench system in his whole in his
Dude,
and
what?
I'm talking this trench system is huge.
Yeah.
Like you can get lost in it, and like and you're actually having like a trench, like World War I style.
Trench warfare.
Yes, trench warfare.
Dude, that's cool.
Uh, and anyways, like he was putting on games on like once every like twice a month maybe, and I
Mm-hmm.
started playing there, and I was like, man, this is awesome. And then further along the line, I started digging in more and more into airsoft, and then I realized that there's a Minnesota Airsoft Association, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And the more I dug into it, like they were hosting games, like their events,
Okay.
and man, they were the greatest events I'd ever done. I was like, oh, this is so awesome. You get in squads of 5 and you do these missions, like like throughout this guy's whole compounded field. And
Yeah.
oh man, I had a great time, and like this shot, like the Minnesota Airsoft Association, they I think they were founded in like 2000. So these guys are old schoolers.
Whoa.
So yeah, way old school, man. Like, and
Yeah,
they
that's
they
cool.
would they would tell stories about, like if you had 2 megs, like you were the shit. Like if you had 2 magazines, man, you were the shit because you
That's
couldn't,
awesome.
you couldn't get them anywhere, and they were
Yeah.
talking. They would tell stories how they would get like they would go in on like pallets, like just because it was so hard to get stuff. Like
Yeah.
and but yeah, so I started, like doing more research, and I found those guys, and I started following their, whenever they would host a game,
Mm-hmm.
and I started, playing all their games, and I got into a position where I started being one of the role players, so I
Okay.
started becoming a role player for them, and
Uh-huh.
like I really enjoy that aspect of airsoft, is just being a role player for,
Yeah.
making somebody else's experience that much better,
Right.
because it's just me, it's the experience and fun, like for everybody, for me, like that's what I enjoy about it. But yeah, and then I just kept doing stuff, and like I would make things for myself, and that's where I ran into the one guy who hooked me up with the career I'm into now. And
Mm-hmm.
and then then I continued to make stuff. I don't, I'm not sure if did you go through my Facebook page, like
Yeah, yeah, I did actually.
the
I
Bok
did
Bok
see,
the Bok Bok Labs.
yeah, Bach Labs.
Yeah.
How'd you come up
So
with that name?
so one of my so I would always make stuff. Like I was always building things and making things. And
Yeah.
one of my one of the Minnesota Airsoft guy, one of my friends, was always like, hey man, you should really start, like posting the stuff you make. And I'm like, I don't really care, and since I'm half Filipino, and one day we were making jokes about like Filipino stuff. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you know any Filipinos or heard their language or anything,
Yeah, yeah,
but
I do.
like
I spent a year in Okinawa, Japan, and there's 90% of the people all the girls I met out there were Filipino, and
so
so I learned a little bit of Tagalog here and there, but yeah.
well, the way I described, like how the Filipinos talk is like, it's like there's like chickens talking, like back, 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 back. And like
That's funny. Yeah.
they all got a kick out of that. I was like, it's true. Go listen to Filipinos. Back, 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 back.
Uh-huh.
And then and then Gabe was like, you got to start. It's like, there it is, Bok Bok Labs, and I was like, that's pretty funny. So
Oh my God, that's funny.
I just started to go with Bok Bok Labs, and like it's like an inside joke between like me and everybody who knows about it. And now that I said it, like any Filipino listener will be like, yeah, they totally sound like chickens talking.
My one of my son-in-laws is his mom is Filipino. So she still speaks, Tagalog. When she gets mad, she'll
Yeah,
speak it. So
sounds like chickens, man.
it's funny, man. Yeah.
So now when you hear it, you're gonna always think that.
Oh, yeah. You can't. It's one of those things you can't go back. That's how you're gonna hear it all the time. Well, I
So
got
yeah,
your. Go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say, so yeah, that's how Bok Bok Labs got started, and
Yeah.
that's like my half page, because when I played airsoft, like I would meet tons of people, and I'd make a lot of friends, and next thing you know, they're tagging you in all these pictures, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh man, don't tag me, like like I got my regular, like my regular name,
Yeah.
Facebook page, and then they would tag me doing some crazy, I don't know, airsoft game where I'm all decked out or doing like,
Uh-huh.
like we had a game that was like a post-apocalyptic game. So like, it was only you couldn't use any M4s or anything. It was only shotguns and pistols.
Yeah.
So it was post-apocalyptic. So you had to
Oh,
like
that's
find,
cool.
stuff. And here I am with like football gear and, like no shirt on
Oh, those are great. Yeah, it's Fallout,
and
man. You're picking up scraps and making something
yes.
out of it. Hmm.
So now, and people are like tagging me on that. I'm like, dude, don't do, like I got like my mom and my, like coworker. I
What
got
are you
co
doing?
I got coworkers looking at this stuff, man. So,
Like, what kind of role play are you doing, bro? Like, keep that shit in
so,
the bedroom or something. What are you doing?
well, then I made a second airsoft, like Facebook page, which was Cobra Alex, because that was my tag, that was my call sign for a while,
Hmm.
was Cobra Alex, and then like I just got to a point where I was like, yeah, just call me Alex.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a lot easier, and I'm just Airsoft Alex Cobra, like because Cobra just got like everybody just started calling me that, and I was like, I kind of like my regular name,
Yeah.
so so. But yeah, I just like I try to then Bok Bok Labs came when I started inventing things or making pretty unique stuff, and I wanted to show that stuff off, because a lot of people first have never seen it, some of the
Yeah.
stuff I've built, and or even heard of it, and then they want to know how I did it, and I'm more than happy to show people. And that was another thing I like about Bok Bok Labs is like if anybody's into that game where I want to make an HPA doozy.
Yeah.
Like, how'd you do it? Like, I have the pictures. You can call me, text me. Like, I'm more than happy to talk you through it.
Yeah.
And how to do it. Everything like that. Like,
Right.
So
Well, I've got your the photos part of your Facebook page pulled up.
uh,
I was going to share it if you don't mind,
yeah, go ahead.
because there's a couple things I want to ask you about that are really interesting.
I'm waiting to see what you're gonna pull up.
You're like, oh no! The miniguns, bro. The
Oh
dual
yeah, yeah,
miniguns.
yeah,
These are
yep, yep.
badass.
So the story with that one was like, so if is there a picture of me when I made like the turret, like with
Let
the
me see.
shield and everything, like a sing? I don't think there is.
Oh wait, right here.
So yeah, that was with the shield. So I actually made one with the
Uh-huh.
shield. So it was just a single with the shield because we're playing this game Escape from Tarkov,
Yeah.
and we're playing that at Action Sports in Wisconsin, and it's an awesome game. Like everybody's into it, everybody's role playing, everybody's into this game.
Yeah.
And anyways, I had I had built one with just a single with the turret, and I built it for a friend.
Uh-huh.
And then I was like, oh, like I want to build one of those. So I bought one and built it. So then fast forward, I don't know, maybe 2 months later, we're playing this big ass game. I can't read like there's over 300 players at this game, local
Yeah.
game. And anyways, the grand prize was this M132. And it was funny because when they read the ticket, like I held off to the last second to tell everybody because we're all in this waiting. It was like, wouldn't it be funny if we won that gun? There'd be three. We'd have three miniguns in our
Right.
group of guys, and it'd be like, wouldn't that be funny if we won that gun? I was like, yeah, it'd be real funny. And then they called the number, and it was actually my number. And
Oh
so here I
shit.
am, like I'm like trying to stomach it all, like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I won, oh my god. And they're like, like calling, 721, 721, going once, going twice. I was like, oh yeah, right here. And then like everybody like freaked out, like, oh my god, you idiot, why didn't you say anything? And
Oh, that's funny.
now I got two miniguns, and I'm like, what the
Mm.
hell do I do with two miniguns? Like, and so I just decided to freaking, made them together. So
What'd you do? Build a mounting bracket for
yeah, so I
to
just I
secure 'em?
yep, I took
Okay.
a mounting bracket. You can kind of see on the top there, I've got
Yeah.
two metal bars there, and then on the bottom, I was able to I think I put a big plastic, like block and drilled
Uh-huh.
into it and made it, and then I put the pintle on it. So
Dude, that's
yeah,
cool.
so
What a
yeah,
cool idea. So one of the guys that I've talked with, I've had him on here a few times. He did dual guns like this a long time ago. Um, NEPA Airsoft. Don, he's up in PA, and yeah, he was real creative with that too. It looks like you are doing a lot of the same, like not the same thing, but you're very creative with a lot of stuff. So when you say you make a lot of these things, what are you doing? Buying parts, or what? Are you making it out of just stuff you like real Fallout style? Like,
No, I just find the parts and
yeah.
I make it. Like I'll see I have a chunk of aluminum and I'll make the part, or like I'll recut the threads on something, like that was the end of a shotgun, like my Marui shotgun.
Oh, okay.
So I made that for the end piece of my Marui shotgun. And
That's crazy.
um what else? Yeah, if you see down to your I can see the yep. Yep, right there. See, that's what I first started out
Oh,
making.
okay. Yep. Mm-hmm. And then you won the other one. You're like,
And then I
uh-oh.
won the other one. I was like, what the hell do I do with this thing? And
Oh, that's
so
wild.
we all thought that would be pretty cool just to do that.
Uh-huh. Now, do you do 3D printing too? Because I saw some stuff up here
So
that looked
I just started
okay.
3D
Okay.
printing. Like literally like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like I've never 3D printed in my life, and I was like, I don't know how to, I'm too dumb to figure that stuff out, dude. I'll just base, like I can machine a part,
Yeah.
like why do I need 3D printing when I can machine a part,
Right.
And I just got to it, and then yeah, I'm surprised I didn't get into it many years ago. So now I just started 3D printing a whole bunch of stuff.
Uh-huh. That's what my son did. When he got a 3D printer, my oldest son, he was still living here actually when he got it. And he started printing some stuff. Once he figured out how, like the system and how it worked and where he could get on all these different blueprints or whatever, he took off, man. It was nonstop.
Yep,
Like the thing
all
was running
night.
24/7.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. That's
Oh
what
yeah.
it sounds like for me. So if you look at the the Uzi there, the trigger right there, that's actually a real steel trigger that I've modified to work.
Nice.
So yep,
I mean,
you can
this
see
thing
like
looks metal.
no, that one's actually a plastic one.
What?
So what's crazy about that? I did it on the plastic, and that's a Tokyo Marui Uzi.
Mm,
And if anybody, if you got any old school listeners, like back in the day, you could get a Zeke kit, which was an all metal Uzi kit for that. And like
really?
those things are like unicorns right now. And so I actually have a Zeke kit on my Uzi. So it's an all
Oh,
metal.
that's cool.
It's an all metal Uzi. I got it to accept the wood stock and everything. You probably have pictures on there if you look hard enough. But yeah, I tried to like, and then you can kind of see in those pictures. I just hacked up the gearbox. Yeah, right there. So yeah, I hacked up the gearbox in order to, make that.
To make it a HPA.
Yeah, because there's not a lot of those floating around. Not a lot of
No,
HPA Uzis floating around.
no, we got one Uzi in a mystery box, and I don't remember what brand it was. It was cheap. It was an off brand. It wasn't like a main, it wasn't TM or nothing. But we took it out. It was a CO2.
Yep.
We took it out when we went to test it. This was my first experience with a CO2 airsoft pistol, or whatever. So when we first put it, the first like 3 rounds we put through the chrono was like 510, okay, with point twos. I was like, whoa! I was freaking out on the video. I was like, what? This little gun, And my boys were like, no, it's gonna go down because
Yeah.
the first it shoots hot when it's CO2s or whatever. Like I was like, oh, okay. But dude, it was pretty crazy.
But yeah. And then if you like I said, I started just building whatever, like whatever comes to my mind. And
Yeah.
again, see, if you look at some of those pictures, like people ask, like, hey, how did you get that trigger to work? And I'll take
Right.
pictures. Like I'll do anything to help somebody out. Like,
Sure.
like I'll take my whole stuff apart and be like, hey, you want to see that? Yeah, I'll take that apart and do that
This
for
is
you.
interesting looking.
Yeah, that was
What the
if you look
heck?
at that suppressor, it was made during COVID.
What is
So
this? CDC.
and that's only one off. There was a guy up here who was able to get one of those made, and it
Yeah.
was this like prototype, and he didn't know what to do with it, and he sold it to me, and I was like, this is kind of cool, because it's for the Glock, because most you can't really put a suppressor on a Glock,
Mm-hmm.
because it like weighs the barrel down and it won't want to cycle. So that was
Right.
like the
Because it's a floating barrel or whatever.
yeah. So yeah, that was the what we did to counter that.
I mean, that looks cool, dude. So you machined this
No,
piece
no, I
here?
bought I
Oh,
bought
you
that
bought
part.
this?
Like, so
Okay.
this was all bought. Yeah, that some
Yeah, yeah.
he had contracted somebody in like China or someone to make that, and then
Okay. And then this
sold it.
piece right here, what? Like, this is different.
Yeah, that's the airsoft stock thing for it.
Huh. I don't think I've seen one of those before for a pistol.
So
I've seen the conversion kits, for Glocks they're real popular now where people are 3D printing, where that makes
yep,
it like a little
looks like a little
SMG.
yep.
But the stock doesn't look like this piece right here, this little horseshoe.
Nope.
That's
It's
wild.
pretty nice. It's pretty nice. I like that thing.
Yeah, it's very unique looking for sure.
See, and then I got some of the parts I made. Like if you look like that raw piece of metal right there.
Uh-huh.
So like if you back out of there, yeah.
Whoops.
So I made it for the Uzi right there.
Oh,
So
okay.
you could put actually so you could actually put like a suppressor
Ah,
on there and
right, right.
different front ends.
Uh-huh.
And then
So you were
yeah,
milling all this stuff.
yep.
And okay.
I milled that Glock slide there, your bottom left there.
Yeah.
So I milled all those in there, and
Dude, that's cool.
and then so now lately I'm getting into
Whoa.
launchers.
So is this the one that your buddy made, you
Yes.
said?
Yep. Yep.
Converted?
Yep.
That's
Index
cool.
Productions. So
Yeah.
yep. So he got that M72 law, converted it, and now it fires tagging rounds.
That's awesome.
So I'm hoping to blow up some technicals with that this summer.
Right.
So
And then now this is what I was thinking, 3D printer when I saw these. Are you?
no, those are somebody else's. So
Oh, okay.
those are different. Those are different like off-brand companies that make these different types of projectiles, rockets. And I was just testing them out just to see the difference between, because there's not a lot of information
No.
on like all these rockets that are out there, and we can't play with tag and the exploding rounds anymore,
Yep.
at least now. So everybody's
You can,
like
but they're very expensive. They're hard. Yeah, hard to
so
get.
everybody's producing their own style of rockets, and I'm wanted to test them all out.
Mm-hmm.
So so but yeah, that's pretty much what I did there. So this is what got me into 3D printing. So I had bought this. So I bought this, and I had to contract a guy to make it for me because I don't have a 3D
Okay.
printer.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, here you go, man. Charge me, however much to print all these parts, and
Mm-hmm.
it literally came in that box that you just saw.
Okay.
And and then I just, went to town and started building this thing. I don't know
Yeah.
if I mean, if you ever heard of a China Lake?
China Lake.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it's right there. Top, go to up to. There's a three up. That's the completed version right there.
Oh, that's cool, dude. What is that?
So,
Two launchers?
no, it's so back in the Vietnam War, the Navy SEALs developed this weapon. It's called a China Lake, and it's pretty much a pump action 203 grenade launcher.
Yeah. I mean, it sounded familiar, but I'm surprised I haven't. I'm not because I did a whole. Man, I was fascinated with the Vietnam War when I was a kid, growing up. I was born in '70, so uh, it was still fresh, and by the time I was, even when I was 10, 7, 8, 9, 10, my dad's buddies that were in the Korean War had sons that were in Vietnam, so it was always talked about. And I read tons of books about it. And yeah, this is cool, man.
So yeah, like I said, I built that, and the way it was built, it wasn't built for tagging rounds, because like I modify again. Here I am modifying everything because as soon as I got that thing together, it's a plastic gun. Once you racked it, it sounded like you were gonna break it. You know,
Yeah.
because it was horricious, dude. It was like you would just like it's like, oh my god, something's gonna break in this thing.
Yeah.
And so as things started breaking in it, because I knew it was gonna break, I started machining my own parts again to
Mm,
get this thing to work.
yep.
And then I finally got where I wanted it, and I love it, but it's more of a it's a plastic gun, and there's very few scenarios where you get the chance to use it.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of like the law, like the M72, like there's very few times you get to use the gun.
Right.
But yeah, that's kind of like my launcher collection I have right now.
That's
And
cool,
then
man. You know what's wild? That wood stock looks real too on both of those. Are those
yes,
real wood?
no, it's not. Oh,
Wow.
on the sawed off the SOG one, that's a real wood.
Okay.
That's
Gotcha.
real wood, but that one
This
is
one's
not.
not. Yeah. That's cool. Man, you got a lot of stuff going on here that you're
Sort of.
building and tweaking and working on. And now what's this? Is this a 3D printed? Is that
That is
that
the
kit?
gun.
Oh, that's the
Yep,
kit.
that's the
Okay.
gun.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. All these tubes you had to screw together.
Oh, weld them actually.
Oh, wow.
So they would come in two pieces, and
Yeah.
you'd butt them together and start. You would weld. You'd pretty much melt the glue.
Mm-hmm. That's wild. How's that thing run? Does it work good?
Right now, it's working great. I'm just
Nice.
waiting for it to blow up.
All right. When is it? This is fairly recent, right?
Yes, this is probably my recent contraption I've made.
And what? Explain this one.
That was
This is
just a
like a.
part I was. It was just a part I made. If you scroll back, you can see right there. Yep, right there. So that's I went from the plastic piece to that metal aluminum
Mm,
piece.
gotcha.
And see, and that's the kind of stuff I make in my garage.
Dude, that's
So,
cool.
well, now that I'm older and more mature, grown up and actually have money,
You
you,
can
you can
buy
start
some of these
buying.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I bought the tooling. Like I bought I've got a mini lathe, like a benchtop lathe
I
and a
thought I
benchtop.
saw a picture on here of
Yep,
some of
yep,
your.
yep, right there. That's pretty much my tooling. That's how it was. And if you scroll over the next page, that's how it is now.
Big difference, man. You cleaned up.
Yeah. Yes.
You drank an energy drink and then got all this done in 20 seconds.
Yeah. So, yeah. So now that I got all that all set up, now that's pretty much and which sucks. Here in Minnesota, it's like all right, get it all done quick because winter's coming.
Mm,
Because once winter hits, you're pretty much like, how much do I want to freeze my ass outside?
exactly. Yeah, what's the normal temp in like at night
And
in the
freezing,
winter?
20 degrees or yeah, 10, 20 degrees. This year
Yeah,
this year was like a freak of nature. Like,
really.
yeah, we didn't get any snow. Like, I think it like snowed like 3 times.
What? For the whole
Yeah,
winter?
yeah. I mean, I could be exaggerating, but it didn't seem like it snowed at all.
Right.
Like if you kind of counted on how many times you bring out the snow blower, and
Yeah, for
I think
sure.
I think I only brought it out once or twice.
That's crazy, dude. So I always joke down here, we're in South Carolina, and I always joke with people that I meet that we had during the winter we had a week, a whole week that was like 13 degrees in the morning. At night and in the morning, 17 degrees, like in the teens, okay?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm going, everyone, around here is like, dude, what global warming my ass, okay? We're in South Carolina and it's freaking freezing. Like this shouldn't be happening. So we got cold and you guys got a little warmer. I don't know. It's
Ah,
weird.
So again, that's another real Uzi, real Uzi part I put on there.
Yeah. Now, do you take these? Have you ever used this launcher at a game yet? The
Not yet,
the top one
not
right here.
yet.
Okay.
I just got it. Like I wouldn't say I just got it, but
Yeah.
like in the wintertime, we're pretty much stuck here unless we travel for a game.
Mm-hmm.
And I just haven't, and I'm pretty cautious. Like if I was gonna travel by air, I don't know if I would try to bring that with,
Yeah.
you
No
know.
shit, right?
So
Hey, ship it
so
to a friend, okay?
even like traveling in the car, like I can only imagine getting pulled over and they're like, "What the fuck do you have this for?"
Oh,
And
just wrap everything up, put it in the trunk. They won't know shit, okay? Yes, officer. You pulled me over for speeding. Do you have any weapons in the car? No, sir. Nope, not me.
so it's like you got a lot of explaining to do. But
Yeah,
I haven't done it yet. We're planning on this year. Like when the summer rolls around, we've got a couple games we want to go to. I think I think end of May we're going to some air base in
yeah.
Michigan, northern Michigan. It'll be an air base that we're going to play at.
Oh, okay.
So that'll be pretty cool, you know. But and we're hoping that we get to use launchers and take out technicals.
Now, what is how'd you find out about this place in Michigan? What is?
Mere Tactical.
Oh, okay.
So that they host games like
Yep, I heard of
at
them.
at places, and
Mm-hmm.
one of the places like if you get like a an event close by, it's like you got to go to it.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, if it's kissing one of the states, you got to go to that event
So
because
how far is that from you guys?
I think it's about 5 hours.
Okay, it's not
So
terrible,
it's
right?
Upper Peninsula,
Mm-hmm.
so 5 or 6 hours. So that's not a bad drive.
Gotcha.
So typically I'm driving 3 hours to play at the field that I like to play at.
Yeah.
So like the field that I like to play at, it's called Action Sports Wisconsin, and they've got like class setups. So if you run with an SMG, you get to go full auto. Like whatever gun you're running, that's the class. There's no such
I
thing as
love
like
that.
there's no such thing as everybody's running an M4 and it's all fully automatic.
Mm-hmm.
If you're running a full rifle, like an M4, it's semi-auto only.
Semi-auto. Yep.
So then you can get a 308. So now you got a higher velocity. You can bump up the
Yeah.
velocity. If you're carrying a heavy machine gun, you get that. Like there's perks between each guns.
That's pretty
So
cool.
and that's the greatest perk about that place. No other
Yeah.
airsoft field in the area does that. It's all like, oh, full auto. You can
Yeah.
go full auto, and everyone's going full
Yeah, they
auto.
either do full auto or everything's just semi-locked.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And we pretty much were like, nah, like so this field adapted those rules, and those are the rules that stick. And man, it's a great time.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy that going over there. And yeah, but yeah, we got like I said, the big games. If there's ever like a big like Lions Claws had a
Oh,
couple
yeah.
games close by.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, yeah, we have to go to those games.
Yeah.
Because we don't get the taste of that unless we're gonna travel East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, we have the Third Coast Airsoft, TCA events down here in South Carolina and close by like Georgia.
yep.
Yep.
And I'm trying to get to one of those games because yeah, those rules are how those rules are.
Yeah.
They've got those weapons classes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you sign up for a class and that's what you play as.
So and yeah, and I really enjoy that. That's why I got all those like SMGs that you're looking at.
Yeah, that's cool, dude. Yeah, that's so my boys went they've been to mostly TCA events, Third Coast Airsoft. And they always played riflemen. And then my oldest son bought I'm not sure what brand it was, but it was full metal, 249. Okay.
A 24, okay, 240. I was thinking
Yeah, an
240.
M249. So he gets this thing probably like, I don't know, a couple weeks before the next big milsim they're going to. And we're checking it out. We did a video on it and everything. He did a really cool, really extensive video on this thing. And he wants to take it to the milsim. And I was like, you're going to carry that? This thing was like 12 and a half pounds, okay, by itself.
Yep, the full size 249.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And that doesn't sound like a lot, but well, it was full size, but the stock, I'm not sure what you call it, but it twisted. Okay, it had
Yeah,
two
like
pistons.
the
Yeah, the
parachute
para.
or the para,
Yes,
yeah,
yep,
the
that's
para
it.
249.
And you could shorten it, like so. But anyway, I was like, "Are you sure you want to take this, bro? Because you're used to using a rifle with a sling and a freaking, And he's like, "Yeah, it'll be fine." I was like, he goes, 12 pounds ain't that much. And I was like, okay, okay, go ahead. Like you can't set it down. Like you're carrying this thing for,
Yep.
when you're walking, obviously, moving around, you're carrying it nonstop. I said, your biceps are going to be burning, bro. You know? So they did. But he got a great workout with it, for those 2.5 days and, at the TCA event. And he was like, dude, I literally, on Sunday, I could not lift it up to shoot. My arms were just hanging there. Like he said, he had a big drum mag for it,
Yep.
auto
You
feeder
gotta you don't buy that without getting a drum mag.
for sure. The
At
drum
least
mag was
having
nice
two.
too because it had it was electric, so it had the feeder, that like you didn't have to do
Yep.
anything to it
Yep.
or
Yep.
wind
Yep.
or nothing. Yeah, it was great. So,
Noise activated, I think.
yeah,
So once it hears it shooting once, then it'll start
yes,
feeding.
exactly. Yeah, because the first big, drum mag thing we had was mystery box. We had a Tommy gun, okay, and, it had it was full, it was real wood stock, full metal. This thing was badass, and a metal drum mag, okay. But the drum mag, it had a big like winding wheel on the back, and you would
Yep.
spin it, to wind it. But thing was cool though.
What do you
Yeah.
do with all that stuff when you're done with it? Just give it away?
So we did giveaways. There's a picture on my Instagram that, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Bro, we laid out, this wasn't even all of our guns, but we laid out, I'm gonna have to scroll way down here on our Instagram, but we laid out all of our guns, or most of them, that we could fit into the living room. So we put all of our guns on the couch, on the, floor, on leaning up everywhere, and it was a lot. So we had a ton of them because when we did a mystery box, we would buy the BOA from Evic, okay? And there was four of us on our channel, me, JP, and then my two sons, Colton and Christian. Each of us would get a BOA every time they released one. So that's four boxes. They each have two guns in them, okay? Unless you get the mega winner. And we added up some guns really quickly. So we started doing giveaways. We talked about it. We were like, so my boys started trying to sell their guns, their extra guns on Hop Up, okay, originally. And they were like, man, this is crap. Like, they're not the app. The app was okay, but it was, these guys would come on there, and like probably younger
Yeah.
people, and they're like, oh, I'll give you $20 for this gun, like
Yeah.
stupid shit.
What's the
Like,
cheapest you'll go?
yeah, I'm sure a lot of people can relate to what I'm saying right now with this thing. So anyway, yeah, we started doing giveaways because I talked to them. We all talked, and I was like, "You guys want to do giveaways?" Because I'm literally running out of room. We had them on the wall. So this room, the pegboard I have here behind the computer, actually wrapped all the way around here down to that end. Okay, guns were hanging up there. Guns were hanging up here. Then we had guns stacked in each of the boys' closets. Okay, and then also some in the shed. So we were really running out of room. And then of course we have BB, all the accessories.
Yeah, all the stuff that goes along with it.
Yeah, we'd have mounds of, bottles and bottles of BBs because, we were doing reviews on all these guns. And, good Lord, I didn't realize how many Instagram posts I have. I was really scrolling forever. But, so anyway, yeah, we started doing giveaways, and we would do a giveaway, once a month. And then at holidays, we would give away, one giveaway, we'd give away like 3 or 4 guns because we would draw 3 or 4 names.
Yeah.
So, we
That
we
was
got
nice.
down. What's that?
So that's nice, just giving away guns.
Oh,
Open up
dude.
open up all that free space.
Okay, here it is right here. I'm going to share this. Yeah, it was. I mean, it was nice, and I mean, there was originally we weren't requiring, like, the only requirement for it was to be like sub to our YouTube channel. So you didn't have to buy anything. So when we'd have to ship them out, we're paying 30, 40, $50, whatever, to box it up and, ship it out.
Yeah.
And I would put a ton of stuff in these boxes. Okay. I bet you there's a lot of people on this podcast that have been following us recently, like in the last year, that have never seen some of these old pictures on our Instagram. All right. So
Nice.
you can see, so this is about maybe 3/4 of our guns. And this was, when did I post this? January of 22.
Like 2 years old then,
Uh-huh,
almost.
2 years old. Okay. So we had more than this, and then we were getting more. And actually that one at the bottom, that's the 249 that he had that was full metal. Um, so he bought that, and then every other gun in here is from a mystery box. Bro, I'm looking at it now. I haven't seen this picture in forever, and it's so anyway. And you can see all the pistols here as well.
Yep, yep.
So yeah, we've gotten some really cool guns, man. This giant one here is an HK replica that's came with that suppressor on there. It's supposed to be like a sniper type of thing, and JP got it actually in a mystery box. He took it apart to try to upgrade it and couldn't get it working again. So he never got it. He was never able to use it. Like, literally never able to use it. And I
No,
used to ask him all the time, like, dude, why are you never even tried it out? Like, we would try it out for the videos, the review, but he would take it home and then break it open. And this happens so many times. And I think now that I've interviewed a lot of people on here, this is a common theme. A lot of people break open their stuff to like upgrade, and then they can't get it back together.
yeah, they can't get it back together.
Yeah. So yeah,
I've
it was
actually I've actually never taken apart an AEG box. Like
really,
to like, yep, I've never like for myself. Like I'm gonna take an AEG box, I'm gonna
yeah,
upgrade it, put it back together. I've never done that. I've opened AEG boxes and took the shells because
yeah.
I would instantaneously HPA them. Like
Okay.
because I'm an HPA guy and I would buy a gun and I would literally pull the box out and
Yeah.
I would never even energize it. I've bought in guns where I've never even energized and I just took the shells out and boing, emptied everything out and
That's
put the
crazy. So you never heard the winding of
nope.
the gears on your
The
own. I mean,
only AG I had was the very first one I bought was at D Boys once.
okay.
That was the only AG and I had that for about 3 months,
Yeah.
and then HPA became a thing. Like if
Yep.
you had an HPA, man, you're like, oh man, this is tier one, airsoft stuff. And
Right.
because it wasn't as big, like at the time, like if you
Yeah.
had an HPA, you were, like you were fucking rolling, dude. Like,
Oh,
oh
you were
shit.
the shit. Yeah, that's like
And
the upgrade.
so a guy had it, and I was like, man, I gotta try this thing. And so he let me try it, and it was like the trigger pull was so crisp and instant. I was like,
Yeah.
sold. Where do I
Yep.
buy one of these things?
For real, bro. And it's yeah, like you said, it's consistent.
And so yeah, then after that, I bought a 416,
Nice.
Elite Force 416, and I threw that diffusion engine in it, and that game over. That was it.
Yep.
And what's crazy is I actually did like a post not too long ago with my fusion engine. I still have the same one, so it's over 10 years old, and all I've ever done with it is lube the nozzle.
What?
Yep, that's all I've ever
Bro,
done.
that's impressive.
So I mean, I guess I think I lost an FCU,
Sure, but
you know,
still,
but other than that, like other no issues ever with it.
that's impressive.
So yeah, I think it has to have over 1 million rounds through it. So
Jeez.
I actually still use the 416. So like my 416 is my base gun that I've been using since that's if I use a rifle class. So if I'm using a rifleman class, it's that 416.
Yep.
So
This one right here, we got okay, so this one we didn't get out of a giveaway box. That was, I mean, a BOA. this vector my son bought, and it was he took it to just an open play like one day, and they came back and he was like, dude, it came with one mag. He bought, I don't know, three extra mags with it. Okay. All in all, I think it was like $600 for the gun, the extra mags, and he might
Is
have
that
bought an
the
optic with
is
it.
that the AEG or is that the gas blowback?
No, the AEG.
Okay.
So it's a Chris vector, um, and the thing never fed right. So he just we tried every single mag. It didn't feed right. We didn't know what was wrong with it. It would shoot so inconsistent. Like half the mag would shoot great, but it might be the back half. It might be the front half. It was all over the place. I never wanted to take it apart. I was like, I'm not taking this thing apart, bro. At this point, when we got this, let's see, when was this? This was this February of 22. So we were almost 3 years into our channel, and I'd already broken open a ton of gearboxes, and for them to kind of fix, fix stuff, whatever. And I would fix basic issues, and but I was like, I'm not taking that thing apart. No, not when it was that expensive. And he'd only had it, like 2 weeks before he took it to the thing, and it just didn't feed. So we did a review on it. But this is one of the, so we would do giveaways like this. So we would give, this gun was the Gen 3, the Lancer Tactical Gen 3 that came out. This was, this sling was a custom, well, not a custom sling. It was made by Gunfather Milsim. If you look him up, he still makes slings. Actually, it's a bungee sling. It's the best sling I've ever tried out. The thing's the most comfortable, most versatile, easiest to use, whatever. And then this is a charcuterie board, custom made from one of our viewers that I had on the podcast a couple times, a young guy, Mr. Cactus Jones. So we gave all these things away, plus all the stickers and the patch and everything, and then I would handwrite a letter. So for the giveaway, so it was a lot involved. I mean, I bought this charcuterie board, I bought the sling, and of course we pay. I bought the gun.
Yep.
This was actually one of the few giveaways that I actually bought a gun for a giveaway. I wanted to try out the Gen 3, wanted to do a review on it when it came out. But so those we used to do that. That's how we got rid of 99% of the guns that we had. Was doing giveaways forever. But yeah. Anyway, it's cool. There's a lot of people out there that have a Trifecta Airsoft patch that
Well, I
probably
had
don't
like
even follow our channel anymore, to be honest,
you
because I
go
switched to the podcast.
do you go out to field still?
So I haven't been for a while. Um, I've been, well, I've only been with as a cameraman with these
Oh,
guys.
okay.
Yeah, when they started. So I've never played Airsoft. I run an
Oh,
Airsoft podcast and I've never played Airsoft.
get
So
the,
no,
wow.
I know. So so I started I didn't care about Airsoft. I mean, I played paintball years ago. I was coming out of being paralyzed. I was paralyzed with an illness a handful of years ago. And when I was able to start walking again, like just barely, I could walk down here the hallway, get into this chair, and I was sitting here staring at the computer like, okay, I need to do something to stop me from going crazy. I was laying in bed staring at the ceiling. Like there was a point when I was first paralyzed, I couldn't talk. Like nothing
Jesus.
worked except my bodily functions where I could breathe. My heart would still go. I didn't have to be on a respirator, but that was it. I could say about 3 words and then everything stopped working. So uh, going through that, when I was very active and healthy and in shape and just, constant, I was working 70 hours a week. Plus I was, my kids were into sports and my daughters were in dance. My youngest daughter was in a traveling dance team. We were always on the go. And then it came to a screeching halt within a week's time frame of my first symptom. And so coming out of that, it was, I'm like, and by the way, I was on steroids. So I was just going nuts, man. I'd never been on steroids before. I was sleeping like 2 hours a day. I was scatterbrained as hell, just hyper, and and I was looking for anything I could to do to keep my, my mind busy. So that's how the channel spawned, because I had started two other YouTube channels before this one, and the second one was a review channel, CNR Reviews, that I still actually or I actively post on. But when the boys got into airsoft, two of my older sons got into airsoft, and I saw what they were doing, I was like, dude, these are cool looking guns. What? I didn't know, it was like this. So I said, why don't we let me film some of that stuff. I'll put it on the review channel, like for reviews. Well, then then their buddy came over, JP, that got him into airsoft. They said, oh no, that man, there's all kind of stuff. Like there's milsims, there's speedsoft, there's these mystery boxes you can get, and they make replicas for just about every real steel gun out there. And I was like, whoa, okay, that's enough to make a whole other channel, like separate. So I said, let's make a separate channel. So you guys, let's brainstorm and come up with some ideas on names and blah blah blah. And I said, I'm just going to be behind the scenes. I don't want to be in the videos. You guys be in the videos, and I'll film it, and I'll run the channel. They're like, all right. So they came up with Trifecta. JP actually came up with Trifecta Airsoft because it was the three boys, right?
Yep.
Him and my two sons, and I was just in the background. So yeah, I didn't even care about airsoft. I thought the guns were cool, but as far as playing airsoft, I mean, I play paintball, so I'm like, whatever, it's cool. But yeah, that's how it started. And then once I got where I could walk around, I mean, I could go to work, right? But I still can't run. I still can't jog, this kind of thing, whatever. And my hands are extremely weak. So holding a gun up for
Yep.
more than 15 seconds, my hands get shaky. I can't cock stuff and pull the trigger, so I still have a lot of residual nerve damage or whatever. And so anyway, I wouldn't have fun, to be honest. I wouldn't have fun going out there. So many
You'd be in
people try to
pain.
talk to me about, oh, get in a wheelchair. There's these guys that go out there and we push them and they shoot. And I'm like, look, bro, I understand what you're saying. I understand the sentiment. To me, that's not fun. Okay. If I can't go on my own and I can't rack my own stuff and switch mags on my own, which I couldn't do right now, that it's not fun. Okay. Not doing it. So I'll go and watch. I'll go and take pictures and mosey around and shit. But yeah, that's, standing back sniping. I can't really do. I can rack the bolt on a real steel bolt action because there's no tension when you pull it back. But on a sniper rifle that's a spring,
Yep. It's not happening.
no, my fingers, I'll grab it and it'll just slip off. I can't pull it. So all it does is frustrate me because it just amplifies my weakness, which pisses me off. And so I would not have fun on the airsoft field, period.
So you're the press guy.
I'm the press guy.
With
That's
the camera.
So I love the airsoft community. That's what I got in touch with when I started doing these. I started getting feedback from these videos, running the channel and stuff. So, but yeah, that's I put on my Twitter, I think, on my profile, one of the socials we have. I put I've never played airsoft and I run an airsoft podcast, and people are always like, "What? That's so weird." Like, well, yeah, the way it happened, okay?
Well, at least you're in it. You're
I'm
doing
in
this
it,
stuff.
man.
You're
I
doing
mean,
this stuff.
so I've handled all these weapons. I've shot them in the back. We've, tried them out, all kind of stuff. Been to some milsims, been to some indoor uh, fields, whatever. So I've been around all of it. I've shot. I just haven't actually carried my own gun and gone on the field and played.
Yeah.
So, it's whatever. But the indoor one, I went around with a riot shield. They gave me a riot shield, and I was holding my phone. I was filming with my phone behind the riot shield, following these guys around. And I would go right in the, in the middle of, I mean, I wasn't trying to get in the middle of a firefight,
Yeah.
but I would end up there because everyone's running so fast, and get shot in the back or whatever, and no big deal. So, but yeah, it's probably when I started doing the podcast thing and talking with people, I was kind of fresh coming out of like where I think I had just started going back to work where I could get out of the house, which is a huge milestone for me. So when I started at that time, I started talking with people here and there before I even officially made it a podcast, and it was legit therapy for me. It was really really refreshing to talk with people about something that they're passionate about, and I was passionate about it because I was running the channel, and I was very enthusiastic about the mystery boxes. I mean, I was blown away, dude. I did not know anything about airsoft, so I didn't know they made replicas. So we'd open a box, and I'm like, "Whoa, what? A
Did,
P90?"
did you ever get anything like any of the big anything like any of the big boxes? Did you ever
So
like
we got
win?
we got yes, we got a couple of them. One of them was from Airsoft GI. We got the RPG 7 with real wood furniture.
Oh, cool, cool, cool. Yep.
Oh, just badass. Okay, looked beautiful. Um, then we got the special edition P90 from in a BOA. It was one of the special boxes. It wasn't the number one, but it was like in, I don't know, 5 or something like that. It had the swordfish attachment thing. What I forget the kit or whatever. The thing looked badass, and so it had the checkered front, right?
Yeah, the
That looked.
MP5, the
Uh-huh.
swordfish MP5. Yeah.
Yep. And then it had an adapter for, I forget what they call it, Terminator adapter or something like that, to take M4 mags on the
Okay.
side. So I got
Potato
that in the
masher.
mystery
That's what
box.
it's
Yeah,
potato
right.
masher. That's what
Yes.
it's the front
Yeah,
end's called.
right, right. The front. So we got that. That was badass. And then we got a Demolition Ranch version of some rifle. I forget what it is. When I was scrolling through here, when I was sharing the screen, it was actually, what is this? The Iron Man. We called it the Iron Man gun because the paint job on it. So we got a handful of really cool guns. Out of all the BOAs we got, none of us had ever gotten the one winner
Number
box.
one.
Yeah, yeah, it'd be cool though.
Yeah, it would. Well, it's kind of like me winning that minigun. I was like, oh my god.
Right.
Like you don't know what to do.
Well, you know what was funny too is when we started doing all these, we were putting out a lot of videos in the beginning of our channel, and people would comment like, "Oh, you guys must be, talking to Evic, whatever, and they're sending you special boxes because of your channel." And I'm like, "Bro, we got like 200 subs. Like, what? We're not even. Nobody knows
Yeah,
us."
you're not even getting paid.
No. So, but yeah, we had a good time though. It's been a cool journey
Yep.
doing this, and I still enjoy it. And this is one of the biggest things I enjoy about it. But yeah, I always get people inviting me out to different events, and I love going. The ones I've been to, they're really fun. But yeah, it's cool, man.
You gonna try to make it up to our event?
Uh, Up in Michigan.
Or in Minnesota, our
In,
airsoft convention.
what?
So
When is that?
May 11th. So we're in Minnesota. We're having this airsoft convention. So the Minnesota Airsoft Association,
Yeah,
since 2007, they've been putting on a convention, and our numbers keep growing and growing and growing. And so this is, they've had over, God, probably like 14 or 12, over 12 conventions over the years.
yeah.
And so this year, I mean, we've
Oh,
got,
you just posted about it. I'm
yeah,
sorry to
yep,
interrupt you. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
was posted about it. And I mean, we got some, we've got Amped coming. Amp, this is the third time Amped Airsoft has been up there. We've got a representative for Veterans for Airsoft that's going to be talking about it. We
Yeah.
put on, like just demos. We'll put on demos for stuff. I don't know. Mere Tactical will be there. All the local
Nice.
fields will be there talking. Tagging, we've got some tagging stuff coming up there. I don't know if you ever seen that tagging mortar, like tagging
I
made
don't
a
think I've
mortar.
seen the. No, I don't think I've seen it.
So they've got a mortar floating around, and I think we're gonna get it to display it for, So and yeah, like last year, I think we had over 500 people come.
Dude,
So
that's big, man.
this year we're hoping for a bigger thing. Yep, there it is right there.
Yeah, I wanted to pull up this post so you guys could see anyone watching the video. Uh, you could see this post.
Tons and
Um,
tons of giveaways. I mean, we're
yeah.
giving away. We actually have two times for giveaways. So we have one giveaway at one time and another one at halfway through.
Okay.
So yeah, that's it's a great time. I mean, there's tons of teams there. We pretty much put this thing on for people to to see what's out there. Make people want to come and play airsoft, and
Sure.
because people are shy and scared. They don't want to ask a guy like, hey, what kind of gun you got there?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And it's like we're trying to make it as easy as possible for kids to come and play and ask questions if they want to touch a gun or if they want to feel or what equipment to get.
Yep.
Like what kind of radio. I mean, we're putting on demos for radios and just everything you can
Oh,
think of.
nice.
To make it just easier for the somebody new or somebody who's been there a while.
Right.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
we're
a
hoping to.
common thing. The being with the younger generation, well, even people that are adults that are new to airsoft, they're afraid to, especially at the field or in an environment like this, they're like, oh, I don't know this guy, I don't want to ask him, whatever. But uh, go
But that's
out,
what this is for. That's what
yeah,
this is
go
for.
ask. Yep, mingle. Mm-hmm.
So again, we're hoping that turns we have a good turnout and a lot of people. We're hoping, yeah, we're hoping for a good turnout this year because
That's
it
cool.
grows every year. And bigger names keep coming.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I see the amps booth right there. One of the guys I did a podcast with recently, OGKG is his call sign.
Yeah, I heard that guy, old school guy. Well, he's
Yep,
not old school, but he's old. He's
he's
older.
older. Yeah, and he just got into airsoft, and he went to the field, had and same thing happened where he wanted the like one of the guys like group of kids were like, man, just go ask him, and so he went over and talked with them, and they wanted to try out his gun and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's real common, man. It's one of the best communities for inviting new players in, that
So,
aren't standoffish to the
so if you
newbies.
look at that the poster up there, Gabe Stitzel, the the guy who put the post up.
Oh yeah.
So that guy right there, he is definitely OG. Like over 20 years in, he's the spearhead of this whole operation.
Oh, okay.
So if there's a guy you want to get on your show, it'd be probably that guy next. Like
Oh,
he's,
he's the owner of Minnesota Airsoft Association.
yep.
Okay.
And so yeah, he's a great guy to talk to. I mean,
There you
I would
go.
definitely talk. I'd try to get talk. He, like I said, old school, OG dude, 2000.
Yeah, that's crazy,
So
right?
you want to hear some crazy stuff? I mean, he's got the stories.
Yeah. I love hearing that
So
stuff too, man, because, I feel like I'm fairly new into it, right? The last few years. And I don't know. I mean, like me and you, we played paintball, whatever, 20 years ago. But this this kind of stuff, the guys I talked with that were playing airsoft 20 some years ago, I'm like, holy cow, dude, that's cool.
yeah, because it wasn't even on the radar of anything.
No, like where did
So
you even find airsoft guns back then? Because you could go. I bought my first paintball gun in a Walmart. Like it was pretty
so
popular.
yeah, the Eagles, the brass eagle. Is that what you got for a
I
paintball
did. I
gun?
got a golden eagle. It was
That golden eagle. I couldn't think of what it was.
you know what it was? It was a pump.
Yep, I remember it.
Oh my God, I screwed it up so bad. It was a pump, and so I'm on the way to the game. This is the first game that my buddies that I worked with in this factory in Northeast Ohio. They're all talking about this thing, and I'm like, they invited me out, and I was like, man, that sounds awesome. So all of us had kids. All of us were married for, more than a couple years. And this is their getaway. This is the guys' getaway. Okay. So, because I remember one of the guys asking, I'm going to bring my girlfriend, whatever. And they were like, no,
No.
guys only. Okay. We need this getaway. And we didn't have any rules because we were blowing off steam and all of us were in decent shape. We were just like, uh, and we worked a lot of overtime. Okay. So we needed a break and we would go hard. Okay. We're very competitive. So, anyway, I stopped on the way to my first game and picked up this airsoft gun, and I was like, oh, I'll just get the cheapest one. It should be fine, whatever, I know military
I
tech. I
know,
was only like,
I know, I know the end of this story.
yes, it's fine. And meanwhile, I'm going, and before I could even pump the next round in, that luckily, hopefully I don't break in the barrel because I chop it in half. Because I don't pump it all the way or whatever. I'm getting pelted, mask in my neck, and I'm just welted everywhere, bro. Just like,
The guy with the semi-auto.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like here you are with the
the
crappy pump
Tippin
gun,
68, okay,
and then you got the guys with the nice
or
guns.
Tippin 98 or whatever it was. Yeah, I'm getting shot by these dudes. I'm like, what gun is that? And I went and got a Tippin 98 or
Yep.
whatever, like very soon after that, bro. I'm over here
Yeah.
going, poop, poof. Oh
And not
God.
only that, it was CO2, right?
Yeah,
So
CO2.
it would start. You got your
Oh,
first hot shot, and then it starts going down.
it was so bad. It was so bad. And I'm hiding behind a tree trying to change the CO2 canister, and I'm like, okay, nope, not doing this again. It was fun though.
Being outgunned.
Humble beginnings. I mean, it was a good progression. And then we had a guy that would bring. He bought or he made a potato launcher, right? Potato
Yep.
gun.
Yep.
This thing was like 8 foot long, bro. This giant PVC tube or PVC pipe, and so we would shoot it. He wouldn't shoot it at us, but he would shoot it while the game's going on. He was shooting in this big
Yep.
bale of hay or whatever, just to add, sound
Effects. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. He's like, I'm gonna shoot one up in the air, and it's like a mortar or whatever. It's like, dude, that thing's flying. Okay, don't hit one of us with that thing. You knock us out.
You ever been to an airsoft game where they actually fire the blanks?
Yes,
Yeah, that's pretty fun.
TCA does that.
Oh, that's always kind of cool to hear. The guy in Minnesota who has the World War II reenactors, he's got a MG42 that he'll belt up,
Yeah,
and he'll fire the MG42 blanks.
that's so cool, man.
And it's just to hear that thing rip.
Yeah,
It's just like, oh my god.
so the first milsim I went with to these guys was Stonebreaker a few years ago. It was they had the blank firing 50 cal on the Humvee. Okay, this thing's awesome. And then they had mortars, propane mortars. So they didn't shoot anything. It was just for sound.
Sound effects, yeah.
And it sounded real. So they had those going off. They had the 50 cal. I don't know if they had another blank firing gun out there, but then they had a little bird flying around. So you got a helicopter, you got all these, blank firing things going off and explosions, it was crazy, man. It was cool. Very cool for my first one.
That's just cool to hear when you're just like, oh, cool, it makes that experience that much crazier or fun.
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
I've never seen I've seen the videos of the helicopters. Like, man, that's pretty cool. Like, I don't want to buy the ticket to fly in that, but
I know, right?
Yeah, I don't want to buy that ticket, but it's it's cool that somebody will do it and they'll fly around and shoot at you. That's pretty sweet.
That's what I love. One of the things I love about it is the variety that we have, right? The choices that you have. If you're willing to travel a little bit, you can have any kind of airsoft experience you want.
Yep.
I mean,
yep, absolutely.
From Milsim West, Milsim West, they use a lot of blank firing guns. Like they'll have a lot of their guys, I guess, go around and shoot blank firing guns.
Aren't they the 40-hour game though?
Yeah, 40
I'd say
hours
like 40 hours.
nonstop.
Yeah, you can have that game. Oh,
You could listen, bro.
yeah.
40 hours nonstop. The when Mr. OT came on for the first time, he's like, when I first got into airsoft, I wanted to go to this milsim. So I was I was getting into all this stuff. The first milsim he went to was milsim,
Milsim went. Oh
and he
God, what
didn't
a
know. He did not know any of the rules. He didn't know it was like, as involved and immersive as it was. So he gets there, and he wasn't really feeling great when he left. He was like, I was kind of like,
had a sour taste.
he was like, well, yeah, he was just like, I came out of work, I just wasn't feeling like, he was almost like getting sick or something, he's run down. So he goes anyway. So when it started, uh, he lasted 9 hours. He came
Well,
off the
that's a,
field. So, and he was like, man, I couldn't do it. But he was, like he said, he was feeling, kind of sick or whatever. But um, I don't know if he's ever, Mr. OT, if you're listening to this, let me know if you went to a Milsim West event after that and completed the whole thing. I can't remember if he did or not, but anyway, yeah,
I couldn't do it. I don't want to. I don't need to.
no.
I don't need to wear goggles for 40 hours.
Can you imagine, bro?
I don't want to wear goggles for 40 hours. I don't want to sleep in the mud.
Uh-uh.
So that's not. I'd rather go play, go to a hotel,
Yeah.
sit in a hot tub, and do it all over again tomorrow.
Yeah, that's most people I've seen and talked with. I mean, Stonebreaker had 700 people, and it was there was a lot of people. I don't know, maybe a third that hung out like after the first game or the first section started on, like they would play all of Saturday, right?
Yep, and then
But
hang out all
then
night Saturday
and
or
then hang
Saturday
out.
night.
Like they wouldn't play, a lot of the players wouldn't go play Saturday night for the night game. They would just do the
Hang out.
camping. Yeah, we're camping, man. We got the fires going, they're smoking weed, you got beer, you got, there, I mean, this is a huge camp, huge area. They're just they're in the hangout session.
Yeah,
Fires going, campfires and stuff. I mean, yeah, it was cool, man. Just
that's
laid
that.
back.
That's probably the best part. Like for me, when I get, when we do these bigger games, like going back to the hotel and hanging out with your friends and
Yeah.
having your hot tub, having your hot tub party, that's pretty much what, it's fun.
Yeah, it's a vacation. That's what when these guys started going, I thought, this is really cool, man. I was kind of skeptical at first. Not skeptical of the milsims, but of them going, because I was like, you ain't gonna make, I didn't know what was involved in a milsim. I was kind of taking it literal, like military simulation.
Yeah.
I was like, y'all ain't gonna have fun, okay? I'm telling you right now. And the first one they ever went to was a 24-hour continuous. And it was here, it was only about an hour away. And it rained like a monsoon the whole time they were there. And it was a Vietnam
Yeah.
event, which was appropriate with the weather,
Yeah.
but they had to
Perfect.
have real gear, the time period gear and that, like, authentic
Yep.
everything,
Yep. Yep. I know those games too.
Uh-huh. So the M16A1s, they had all their uniform was right. But
It takes a
yeah,
special
so
breed for those games.
yeah, they were like, we did the 24-hour. We like the breaks. We like the 2.5 hours of play or whatever, 3 hours of
Yep.
play and then a break. And but they're the same way. Like the camping experience, the hotel experience, they went to like Airbnb or whatever before.
Yep.
But GTI actually has these like trailers you can rent. They have rooms in them, little bedrooms.
Is GTI the place where is that the nuclear facility
Yep.
or the? Yeah, we were invited. I was invited to go out there, and I'm still kind of contemplating it. It's hard, for us. It's like it's hard for me to like, okay, how am I gonna, like that's
So
you know
it's a long
20
trip.
hour drive,
Yeah, or fly
or if
in.
I
Yeah,
fly in, then now I got to try to figure out how to get all my gear out there.
exactly.
So it's an ordeal.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's a
But
long trip. Now GTI is only like 2.5 hours for me drive.
yes, East Coast guys have everything. It's within like 5 hours. Any game, any big name
Yeah.
game, you guys got it within like 5 hours.
You know what's weird though is it seems like each coast has all the stuff, right? We got East Coast all up and down, New York, Pennsylvania, all the way down
Yep.
here. Florida has a bunch of stuff, Georgia, and then California has a bunch of stuff,
Yep.
right?
Just California though. There's
Just
doesn't really
California. And then in the middle of the country, there's
nothing.
hardly anything. Yeah. When I talked to one of the guys I had on is in Utah, K Factor 39, and I said, so how's your fields out there? He's like, we don't really have any. I said, well, how do you play? He's like, we get on this Facebook group, and everyone's like, oh, we're going to meet over here at this person's property or whatever, and set up a game. I was like, holy shit. Okay, that's what we did with paintball.
Yeah,
My
paintball. Yep.
buddies, yeah, buddies' grandparents had, I don't know, 11, 15 acres or something. We go out there and play in the woods.
Yeah, and that's what again we're pretty fortunate being in Minnesota. Like we have 3 fields
Yeah,
within, and each one of those fields gets about 100 players every day. Like on a Saturday, 100 players at
that's
this field,
good.
100 players at that field, and 100 players at that field. So you got 300 players, playing every
Dude, that's
weekend.
awesome. And that's only going to
You know,
grow.
yes, exactly, and it has grown, which is
Yeah,
awesome because you can watch, like, you can physically watch our Facebook page just keep growing in
right.
numbers and numbers and numbers.
When you were
So,
paintballing, did you and your buddies ever try to go to like a regular field and pay to play like on
oh yeah, I mean, we also had like even with paintball, we were lucky enough to
yeah.
have we had 2 fields I think when that were local.
Did you
And
ever
that
go and there was nobody there? Just you
yes,
guys?
it'd be
It
like 3 of
sucks.
us.
It
It's like what the
sucks.
hell? So it's like, how are we doing this? I just
Not
spent
you can't.
and it was still $20.
Yeah.
Like it was still $20 to play.
Oh, dude. That's what I was telling these guys. All these people I talk with, and they're like, "Yeah, I go to the field. There's, there's 50 people there. There's 100 people there. Like every Saturday." I'm like, "Bro, y'all are spoiled." Okay, I'll tell you what. If you ever go and you ever, we would go. We went a couple times, and you show up, and it was just like you said, like
Just you
3 of
guys.
us. I'm like, "Shit, man, that sucks." Because you have it in your head, like this is what my time is spent for on this Saturday morning.
Yep. I just
Uh,
drove an hour to be here.
Uh-huh. And then you don't even think of it because I never thought of it like, oh, that this could happen because we always played together and, we always planned like we talk to each other at work. Okay, there's going to be 10, 12, 15 of us out there. And then we go to this field and we're like, shit, now what? We just sit here and wait. And we get there at, 10 o'clock, whatever, and nobody starts showing up. We'd sit there and wait for 2 hours.
Yeah, you'd wait and it sucks.
Shit, man, that sucks ass. Okay.
I've been there. It
Yep.
sucked.
Hell yeah, man. Well, listen,
Uh,
brother. It's been great talking with you. I appreciate your story.
Absolutely, man.
Thank you for hitting me up. Give a shout out to where everyone can find all your stuff.
It's Bok Bok Labs on Facebook. Hit me up. You guys see anything interesting? Ask me anything. Like I'm more than happy to tell you guys how I did it. I'll take pictures for you guys. It's just whatever it is, man. And I'm always trying to post something new. I hate trying to be stale. So I always want to like post stuff new. But yeah, hit us up. I mean, I guess other shout outs. I'd like to shout out to like Index Productions. Like they got the best tagging rockets. You guys check them out. And then and probably Action Sports Wisconsin, best field I think in the Midwest. If you guys
Yeah.
haven't looked that place up, look that place up. You guys will be amazed in how they have it all set up. I think they got like over like 100 Connexes. They've got like a big Connex city,
Oh, that's cool. I love those.
and it's just like it's set up nice. Like
Yeah.
it's very well done.
Yeah, that's cool,
So
man. Well, if you don't mind, send me a link to the Action Sports and the Index one.
absolutely
I'll put all those links on the description of the video.
perfect. And I was also send you one for our convention too.
Great.
There's Airsoft convention. So,
Awesome.
but yeah, cool, man. It was nice meeting you, man. I
Yeah,
hope
you
to
too.
I hope to get out to the East Coast, maybe see ya.
I know that'd
Walking around some game.
yeah, you'll see me with a camera going, talking to people and a microphone or whatever. But
So,
yelling at my son or whatever.
but
Awesome, man. I appreciate you, brother.
yeah, thank you, man. Thanks for having me on here.
Awesome. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thanks.